So I want to quickly use this particular video to answer one of the questions of my student. He is one of my very good students. He usually asks questions a lot, and I believe in question as well. That when someone asks questions, it makes you to understand some extra things that are not being discussed ordinarily in lectures or in class. You understand? So this particular then I wouldn't discuss it here, but I want others to benefit from this question. Or I want to say one of the reasons for making this a public video is I have some students who have graduated from studying this particular geomancy from me. So at least some of them still could have opportunity to watch this video will be an extra information to them. And I want to believe those that have earned certificate from this particular course will be able to know this without using this particular method or this particular things I want to talk about. Because when you understand geometry very well, you should be able to. So I want to those who have collected certificate, they can be able to who have collected certificate, who have studied this and earned certificate in this, they'll be able to answer. They can do this without following this particular method I want to explain because there are different ways of doing the same things in geomancy. I might tell you that this is the way to do it. There's other ways of doing it without following that particular procedure, but this might be a public benefit anyway. Now that student asked me because I interpreted a chart for somebody in his presence because that person actually came to me like one-on-one student because I usually train people online. So I had a consultation for somebody in his presence as a student. So and I told the person that what the person should be careful of his movement so that it doesn't have collision, it doesn't have uh, problems on the road. You understand? It doesn't have maybe accidents and the likes. So what even brought about this particular topic is this accident aspect of the world. So after I did the interpretation for the person, so and I told the person that well, the person should do that the accident is before him, that is collision, accident or problems that could lead to death or termination of life or possibly surviving it, but it will be a very something. So while I was having that conversation with that person that come for the consultation about the stuff, the person actually came for different things entirely, but that aspect of it comes out. So now I see it as something very, very important. In fact, what will you be consulting about that is much more than the word accident or something that can bring about your life or that can disturb or affect other activities. I repeat, that wasn't the major thing he came to consult about, but that comes out from his wall, the consultation we did for him. So we need to capitalize on that because it's more than. So after the person has gone, I told the person to do some sadaqahs, some offerings, and the likes, so that God will help him, will make the event to pass without having much feelings about it. So and luckily, thank God he did. Aha. So, so the student that was beside me was then asking me that how did one usually see maybe accident or things like that in a geometry chart? I told him that when you learn geometry, when you balance your knowledge, you will know it. But in this particular chart, because this was the same chart I used for that consultation for that person, but in this particular chart, then I then point out things that was I saw that made me talked about things like that. So although there are ways to know it, but it's not as if one will. There are ways to know it as well. That's why I said that for those that have passed through this or people that know geometry very well, they can know without using this. But I'm using this as an example because this was the chart I used for that person. So let me just give you a pointer that might save somebody. That might save your querent because the question about accident or not wasn't the major reason. There are certain things when you see them on the geometry chart, there are certain movements, certain patterns. When you see them on the geometry chart, they have their automatic meaning. And that is Either that is your major reason for asking that question, or that maybe you ask for other things entirely. There are some movement or there are some certain placement that when you find them, that is what they automatically means. Take it or you leave it. I will show you the pattern that was shown, that was drawn, that was shown for. So, but how do now if the person able to do the work sadako, that means God will bypass the whole something. God will help them take away the whole stuff. Then when you tell somebody that something evil will happen to the person, that the person should do this or that, and the person do it, and the person no know, and nothing happen, the person will, you might not be totally sure, maybe that thing will eventually happen. That is what some people will even sometimes when you give some people message, they will just and that thing will eventually happen to them. Or because somebody has told them that something will happen and that nothing happen, they tend to believe that, well, that is the same way every other thing is. No, we have some people who are good at what they are doing, and we have the people who does just do whatever they like. If those ones are talking to you, you can be playing with whatever they say. But if you meet with real diviners, don't joke with what they say. Let me give you an example now. Even if this person do the sadako, if you want to know that, well, let me give an example. If you let me like you are learning, and I want to show you the patterns so that you can use to confirm if it is true or something. That maybe when you did sadako, it will. Let me tell you one of the effect of sadako. When you do sadako, you sometimes reduce the consequence of that thing you are avoiding or take it totally away. It's two way. It can end in two way. Depend on the gravity of that thing, because you cannot do wrong and expect you want to go to diviner and you want to do something and depend. It's either ways. It can totally take it away or reduce the effect greatly. Then I stand back, but that is not where we are going. So let me now tell you, even if the person do that sadako, this is what how will you know as a geomancer, or how will the person know? If the person do the sadako, if the thing is taken away from, doesn't happen to the person, just count within 2 weeks to that time you talk about that thing. Somebody that you heard about an accident. That is if it has been diverted away from that querent. You heard about work accident from somebody. Maybe the person is closer to the work querent, or something will just happen in the street. It might not be your own, it might not necessarily. You will just count that day, just count within 2 weeks, accident will happen. If it has been, you understand, it has been diverted away from that person, you will see it. So that don't just as speed that maybe because you have done other corner, you will see it will divert away from that person to another person. And that person the thing is diverted to, not that because you do the other call, the thing now move away from your own head to another person's head. No, not that it's from you. That person too supposed to have gone to a consultation, or to have gone to all those divine, or should have gone to any person is belief in that serve as his or her own guidance. If the person has done that, that thing will have been diverted. They will have told the person one or two things to do. So it usually goes to people who are supposed to go to the diviner that refuse to go, but or some of the people that are they might have seen it in their dreams, but they just take their dream. And because sometimes when evil want to happen to some people, they will see it before it comes to them, either from the dream or when they go to their diviner, they will see it. You understand? That is those people, that thing that is on the head of people. You will see the consequence of that thing this person has shared away from, or run away from, or has done this other in order to guide his or herself away from it. So when the person do it, just for you to be sure that what you see is true, you will. And if you have some client, there are some client that when you consult with, they will not come out to give you the feedback. You yourself, you will know. That thing event will happen within just 2 weeks. So it's not as if just speak. Maybe you said the person is gonna do this other call, you now see that effect again. With this particular thing, this pattern I'm talking about, I'm not talking about that because there are different methods. But with this particular pattern, even if you mistakenly see it on your chart, just know that it will happen. But if the person do this other call, it will take the effect away from the person. It will shed the person away from it. It will reduce. But if that person you are trying to do, if that person has done one evil and it is the evil that wants to bounce back on that person, it will affect the person, but it will just mitigate and reduce the effect. But if the person is not do the evil, or maybe some people are doing evil towards him, or there are some things that you are not the one that offend anybody, the thing just want to happen. Maybe somebody want to have problem, and the problem, let's say somebody now splash water on somebody, that water will splash on that person targeted, to splash on another person not targeted, and that kind of things happen in life as well. So if it is that kind of stuff, that person can be easily protected. But if the person that do evil, it seems that they that do evil, the person will not totally escape it. You understand? So that is one of the reasons for. So what are the pattern when you find it? There are certain pattern when you find it. You just don't. You understand? And what is it? When you find Umrah in house one and you find this figure, Amishu, which is Kobdu Karaj, this figure, this particular figure, you find it house six, and you find this one, this one. That is the pattern. If you mistakenly find out those two placements, that is the problem. You understand? So I don't want to prolong this too much. I want to believe you understand. So just to see as something that could benefit other diviner, other geomancer that might be on this page. Because it's not sometimes Queren comes to ask you question that bother their mind. It is sometimes it is evil that want to the evil that want to do them. And they don't know, but something will just put them to come and ask one question, and that thing will then come out. And that thing will then save them from another something. Sometimes querying comes to ask a particular question, and that greater evil is the one that pushed them, because that evil God doesn't want that thing to happen to them. They just need to do one or two things for them to avert it away. So they will then come and ask one question, another thing. So there are certain patterns when you find them, you just needs to be careful with them. So I hope don't let me overstress this. So thank you very much for watching this from point A to this time. May your life never be useless as you like, comment, or share my video. And remember to always subscribe to my YouTube channel. So whenever I make a video, you can always be among the first person that will be notified about it. Thank you very much. May God bless you.